Got it.
Hello.
Hello,
everyone.
Hola.
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 Today we're going to be talking about audio 8 of Katie's Your Wish Is Your Command. And just a quick recap of CD7. So CD7 was all about defining your own dream, burning desire, your emotions, feeling good now, and the 10-second miracle, taking 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life. So CD8 will be talking much more about feeling good, how to do it, techniques, gratitude, and how to increase your desire for what you want. So let's begin.
Shall we?
Yes,
Okay.
shall we?
So we decided today that this, through the questions and through the stuff that we go through today, you'll get an opportunity to share, you know, what how your life looked like pre-KT, as in before you discovered the law of attraction, before you knew that you created your own reality, before you knew that feeling good is where the power and the magic's at, man, right? And how it has changed your life after discovering KT's teaching. So post-KT, so pre-KT and post-KT. And you can share ideas on what you do to feel good now and raise your vibration. So, all right, yes, as you know,
Automatically really smiling quite a bit, you know, Kashmeer, but carry on.
as you know, CD8, he goes through various different techniques on how to feel good, stuff that you can physically do for your body, what you can do mentally to help you feel good. So track 1 is all about how to increase your positive ball of energy and how to reduce your negative ball of energy. And as humans, we tend to think more negatively. So we have more worry, doubt, and fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, impatience, etc. So it's due to our past programming. So to reverse that way of thinking, we need to increase the positive ball of energy and reduce the negative ball of energy. So of course, to do that, it will take some work. And that's why CD8, he's mainly going through all the ways in which you can do to feel good now, and thus to increase your positive ball of energy and reduce your negative ball. Because when that happens, you know, you create a tipping point, and obviously everything magically turns around, and you kind of also experience that 10-second miracle that, you know, you do create your own reality and you'll be more conscious of the way you think. But some people naturally have a higher ratio of like positive ball of energy versus negative ball of energy. So they may not need as much work as others. So there's a few examples, like, for example,
Not as much baggage.
Yeah, and stuff like baggage, emotional baggage. But there's like stuff like parking space, right? Who here believes that they can get a parking space up front in a supermarket?
I get one really far away, I do.
So you set yourself up to win then, do you, Jamie? That's what Kevin does.
I track that one every time.
Yeah. So I think, you know, you can test yourself out on parking spaces. There's some people that are so pessimistic, so negative, have such a miserable life experience that they can't even believe that they can get a parking space up front. They're like, forget it, I'm just going to get it at the back. Like, they're pessimistic straight away. And there was another example, Meenal, you had a patient at work, I remember you telling me about.
Yeah, and she was really negative. And I remember when she called me up and she said, you know, the sun is shining. It was like such a beautiful day. And she said, oh, she goes, the sun is shining so bright, the birds are dying in my garden. You know, I can't believe it. So when it's raining, her arthritis kicks up and she feels really ill. And when it's cold and raining, and when it's sunny, the birds are dying. So nothing's quite right, you know. And it was just everything that came out of her mouth was just negative, no matter how wonderful.
My mum is exactly the same as that. My dad is probably the most. I spent the weekend with him. My vibration is buzzing because there's not 1 ounce of negativity, not even one. Anything can happen. He go, oh, that's just brilliant, and he'd feel incredible as well saying it. And he go to my mum on the same situation. Say now I was hungover 5-6 years ago when I started clubbing or whatever. My mum would go, see, that's really not good for you. It's really, really bad. It's really not good. It's really not good. My dad would go, Oh, I wish I was young again. Oh, look at the start you've got. Look at your life. Look at what you're doing now. Anything that happened, it was always positive and still is. And he still surprises me now because he's just automatically positive. His ball of energy is positive, is through the roof all the time. And I'll be honest with you, it does my head in because he's always the same.
He's just too positive.
Yeah, but not BSing himself either. It's all the fact, the way he frames things is he's doing it all unconsciously and he doesn't know. And I try to explain it to him and it doesn't ring. He just does it
automatically.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure we all know somebody in our lives that's really negative, and just as well as somebody in our lives that's positive as well. And we've all come across that. And I think when we're doing the work on ourselves, it becomes a little bit more obvious. We can see it much more in other people when they're being negative. You just notice it more. You have more of an awareness about it.
Exactly. So if you keep listening to these audios, these CD series over and over and over and over again, it will help you focus your monkey mind on the right thoughts, right? The right subjects. And if by law of attraction, you think the right thoughts, it will attract other like-minded thoughts. So obviously like attracts like, and this is how your positive ball of energy will grow. And I wrote a side note. I don't know if you guys remember the profound truth that 14 seconds of focused thought is equivalent to 2,000 hours of activity. So if you multiply your seconds by 2, so 28 seconds of focused thought is actually multiplied by a factor of 10 in terms of activity. So 28 seconds of focused thought is equivalent to 20,000 hours of activity.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he goes on to saying that in later levels, guys. Later levels, the further levels. But yeah, it's basically the training balance scale, right? What's more important here? Focused thought, that thinking creates that much hours of activity. And what are we conditioned and programmed to do? Right? Action. Doesn't matter how frustrated we are.
Technique.
Yeah, technique, the how, right? That's all wrong.
It's incredible.
Kashmeer is in the ask and it is given, right? Like the 14, 28 and 60, 69 or something.
8 seconds, yeah, and the 17 seconds of thought.
It's amazing now.
I think Kevin adds like the activity, like hours of activity, right, for each time, right?
Yeah. So he's put the seconds of thought equivalent to the hours of activity that is equivalent to.
Incredible, literally the amount of people now knowing this, not knowing it, but knowing it enough. The first thing people say is how. The first thing, and you don't even realize before listening to all of Kevin's teachings on level 1. And as soon as you learn, it's one of the 4. And these 4 basics, everyone has the same sort of, they always say how, or they say, I don't know that, or I'm not good enough, or what have you.
Right.
They always go straight to the how, don't they?
They go straight to the how.
First thing they say.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if you don't know it, because I mean, if you don't know how, we're like conditioned to think about the how. You know? This is, as you said, one of the biggest things we struggle with. You know, is we get back into our comfort zone. How, but we need to remind ourselves too that it's not about the how. But a lot of people who are uneducated don't know this.
The how will present itself, and they don't spend enough time at the conscious competence level either to understand that they need to do the same thing, or they need to exercise it in a certain amount of time. They don't do that. I think we've all done it, but knowing this, it's a lot easier. It's a shortcut, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Doing the energy work, you know, spending a little bit time in the morning, just working on the thought process, on the mentality. Like we've started to do this as a ritual now, me and Meenal. I'm always thinking, I just need to sit down, do the guided meditation. And when I do the thinking process, things manifest throughout the day. Like I freed up some money that was owed to me, like that I'd forgotten about, you know. I just did a money meditation in the morning. So I know when it's gone well because I feel good, like I feel abundant, and I realize, this is how it feels. You only know this when you experience it. And I experienced it because I generated a smile on my face. I actually felt relief. I relaxed. You know, they always say, relax your body. Just know, sometimes I just say to myself, just believe this already, you know, Kashmeer, just shut up with the chatter in the mind. Stop being tense and anxious. Just believe it. Just believe in this for once. You know, they're all telling you this. These billionaires, these gurus are all telling you, you just need to relax. You just need to believe in the law of attraction. Believe that life is an illusion. Believe that money is just energy. And sometimes I feel it. Sometimes I say this to myself. I hear enough people say it, and then I feel it, and then it happens. That split second, I get that feeling. And then what happens? I made money that day. It was like, okay, this was no coincidence. I did the energy work in the morning.
That's
and
amazing.
Direct result, you know. I'm speaking about this authentically, like it really does work. But like you said, we have to spend enough time at the conscious competence level to become, for this to become a part of us, for this to become automatic and real, true knowingness. You know, like Kevin Trudeau said, when a bad thing happens, he pops the champagne immediately. Whereas back in the day, he used to feel bad when something bad happens. Like, he's trained himself so well, and he obviously did it enough times at the conscious competence level to get to this point.
I'll own up to something. The snooker tournaments have started the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's all been about practice and using the techniques. So I haven't listened to Kevin as much as I normally did in pre-season. And what happened? My feeling good slowly started. I recognized it when I started feeling a little bit bad. I was like, when was the last time? My fiance said, when was the last time you listened to Kevin? I was like, a week. And she's gone, and she encouraged it, because I'm doing my I'm practicing 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day. I'm playing with all the top professionals. I go back, I have some food, I go to bed, maybe have Kevin on for 5 minutes or something, but not, I've been the victim of it. Not a victim, but I've not consciously, the last 4 or 5 days, knowing that we're going to have this call, I was like, wow, oh my God. As soon as you shut off, the what's it called? The groundwork starts to breed on its own, because you're listening to your mum, you're listening to a friend, you're listening to some, and I've been a victim of it, a victim of it for the last few weeks, not implying and I'm back into it the last few days going, oh, wow, okay, I'm only human, you know, we're all only human, and I've really put it into, I'm feeling so much better now, a couple of days later.
Wow.
So I'll own up to it.
Yeah.
I was practicing with the snooker, so but yes, feel good now, really important.
Yeah.
And think about it, we're in training when we're thinking, we're in training to think the right thoughts, you know, to think positive thoughts. So it's not yet automatic, you know, we may automatically go into sort of negative thoughts or doubt or worry. So we're training ourselves to think more positively and think, you know, feel good. So you're at the conscious competence level of doing that. So the question is, when you notice you're thinking a negative thought, how do you know it's negative?
Just how you feel.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Your emotional guidance system. So that's why it's so important to monitor how you feel daily, you know, really be aware of your feelings. Not just, the thing with your thoughts is you have, you know, Dr. Joe Dispenza says you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. How can you monitor all of them? Because it would be impossible. You'll be constantly doing that. So it's easier actually to monitor your feelings rather than your thoughts, because with a feeling comes millions or thousands of thoughts. So you may have a feeling of, I don't know, frustrated. And with that feeling of frustration comes hundreds of thoughts around that. So it's easier to focus on a feeling because there's not hundreds of feelings. There's just that one feeling of frustration.
Collectively, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, you know, which generates lots of thoughts. So around frustration as well. So if you're feeling good,
What's your objective?
what's your objective? Yeah.
Feel better.
Yes,
Yes.
to feel
Yes.
better, to move that emotional tone scale.
That's it. And if you feel bad to any degree, and we all do sometimes, we all feel bad, ask yourself, how do I feel better? And you can't do this if you're not aware. You have to be aware. That awareness is the first step to knowing how you're feeling or how you're thinking. So I don't know if anybody does this, like, you know, do you notice is it a regular thing that you notice how you're feeling? Do you keep a check in how you're feeling?
I personally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's pick up the phone to my dad, or I go for a walk for probably, there's a lovely little block around here where I've grown up on, but I always go for a walk. Or if I'm picking my fiance up from work and I'm having a bad day, I'll go at 3:30 and I'll go for a walk down the beach for an hour and look at things far away, and then I'll pick my fiance up from work.
That's good.
That's one of the biggest things I picked up, because I think Kevin says we are going to feel bad at some point, so it's good to know. It's good to know the counter for that, to understand what to do to feel good.
Exactly. Yeah. You have these tools at your mental fingertips in your pocket. You know exactly what to do. All right, I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to dance. I'm going to move my body. You have these tools at your mental disposal, so you're aware that, okay, I'm feeling bad. I'm going to feel good now. But there's so many people that don't care about how they feel, because they think feelings got nothing to do with anything.
They drown in it.
They're supposed to feel bad. And then what happens? They live a miserable life because they're activating the law of attraction in the opposite way.
They create very, very, very strong neural pathways.
And I think tapping is an awesome tool, right? Like whenever you feel bad and you notice, for example, I myself, whenever I feel bad, I do tapping. And at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, but I just remember why I felt bad. I do tapping again, and then I try to change that thought, like
think about what you want instead of what you don't want.
And then
that happens to me.
And then I think that's exponential, because maybe if you do that every single day after 3-6 months, then you start feeling better like most of the time, no? Which
if I get to back you up, Armin, if I get fear, I think in one of the live trainings, I think it's the third level 3 where if he tells you the points, which there. I think they're the points, and I do a little routine for 3 to 4 minutes, and it goes. Whether there's an element of placebo effect, or it gets rid of your energy, or I don't know the science, but he says you don't need to know the science, and that helps me as well.
And Jamie, try to do this point. I think it's called the 9G. You press here. That's really awesome.
There as well. I think is it there or here or something?
I will send you a video. I think it's between this one and this one, and then like here.
Okay. Is that your left? Is that why the wedding ring goes there? Because of the only thing. This is off topic. I'm sorry, but is that why the wedding ring goes there for some reason? Because it's got a point to the heart or something, or is that completely wrong?
Yeah, but it's just between like just here. Not here. It's like between just here.
Okay, cool.
And then you have to do many movements with the eyes. And,
I've seen it.
But it's really awesome. I think that's magical. I don't know what's the neurological explanation, but it's amazing.
I think something to do when you're moving the eyes, it actually accesses the left and right hemisphere of the brain.
Yeah.
So there's something going on there. But with the tapping, there are actually energy meridian points in your body. So when you have negative emotions, it's trapped emotions energetically in your body. So when you're tapping, you're actually releasing them.
Wow, that's a bit of the science for it. Yeah, the tapping's a huge thing for me personally, and he says it's a huge thing you absolutely have to do, and it's later on in the CD, but and it really does, doesn't it? It really does help.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, there's a bit of noise in the background. The other point I just wanted to say about feelings, emotions, is that when you have a thought and it has a large, strong emotion attached to it, that increases the intensity and power of the thought transmission. So it's almost like your emotions charges up the thought, and so that's why feeling good is so important, because when you feel good, any thoughts you have, you're charging up that thought, and it's becoming much more of a powerful transmission.
Intensity.
And also you can't think greater than how you feel is just another point. So like, let's say you're feeling really angry and somebody So the feeling is anger, and you're feeling so angry at somebody doing something to you, and then somebody says to you, well, just think loving thoughts towards that person, just be positive. You can't. It's so hard to do that at that point, because you can't think greater than how you're feeling. The feeling takes over so much that all you have is angry thoughts about that person.
And
so
but you can use that anger as well, can you? Really, to a good.
Yeah.
He says something like, "Oh, how we love to get angry." He says something like that, doesn't he?
Anger to manifest, because it has intense particle flow, because the energy moves very fast when you're angry, as opposed to if you're depressed. So you can actually use that. And I did this actually in 2014. I was extremely frustrated in my full-time job, and I remember coming home, smacking, like throwing my fists against the bed, slapping it, and saying, look, I want change. Like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just used his technique, and I threw out so much like energy, and then I manifested another job. Like,
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it.
Salary and
was it the time when you were writing this message, the email anonymously?
Oh no, that was you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, to make sure none of those people see this recording. But then again, they're the masses, they're not awoken conscious. They're going to be drawn to this kind of cool stuff.
Long time anyway.
I wanted to actually give an example about the thing which Meenal said, you can't think greater than how you feel, because 3 years ago I went through like a trauma. It was the breakup with my ex, and it was just so traumatic. I was experiencing heartbreak and betrayal, and I had too much strong emotional charge. So every time I sat down to meditation is one of the hardest things you can do when you've got so much feeling in your body, so much negative feeling. So I had to use the techniques of physically doing something, and I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but obviously Kevin Trudeau's covered it in this CD. But my friend would take me out, like he would say, let's go trampolining, let's go to this like a play center where you can like jump around and do
break it up. Break up the energy.
Oh yes, yeah, to break up the energy. And he'd take me out to the cinema, to eat out, like to do stuff, to physically move my body and do stuff. Like, I couldn't do the inner work at the time, so I had to use my physiology and break my trance of negative feelings, because those negative feelings were so strong that it would just automatically cause those negative thoughts, about this, that, and the other. And I just wanted to break that. So distraction really helped, like getting up, dancing, putting on music loud.
Just to feel a little bit of relief, a little bit of anger. If you feel depressed, you've got to be angry. If you feel angry, you've got to be irritated and annoyed. If you're irritated and annoyed, get to content. If you're content, get to the emotional scale and everything. That just feel a little bit better.
A little bit better.
Yeah, and I also think that in times when you really feel bad, it's a good opportunity to notice what are you thinking about, and if it's, I don't know, a breakup or something, and you obviously had a lot of experiences you were sharing with this person, and by looking at them, it feels bad because you're not having this anymore. It's a great time to tap along, to change these memories and to let go of the charge, to let it all go by tapping, for example. But of course, there are a lot of many different other techniques. But yeah, tapping is very effective and efficient, and that's what I did a couple of years ago, and helped me very much to recover quickly, let's say.
Yeah, really good points there.
But I get it. Sometimes it's not easy to just say, hey, I'm gonna feel good now, by just
most people do
your
think
thoughts
that,
alone.
they
This is
feel
very sometimes you have to go for a walk or and do something.
And you can use your negative feelings to focus on what you want, and then maybe you can keep moving that negative emotion to a better feeling, right? Because I think in one of the Gene audios, Kevin also said that the elite class, they also use the negative feelings to focus on what they want, and then they move that scale, to.
That's why some of the billionaires of the world are not very nice people, and they materialize the yachts, the cars, but
yeah.
not happy. But they're full of angry, jealousy.
Yeah.
Sorry to take it back to snooker, but that's my world. There's a lot of people who are top of the game of snooker, and they're not nice people, but they are jealous, angry. I've got to beat this guy because he beat me last time, and it's all negative. They'll have terrible relationships. They'll have bad relationships with friends, but they'll get the trophy, they'll get the money, and then they go back. And which is why sport, I feel sometimes, is a bit weird with using this, because I've lost matches sometimes to a guy. He's won the tournament. I'm at home, happy, drinking a cup of tea, my fiance, laughing, joking, and he's put on social media somewhere that I've been told by one of the snooker boys that he's completely depressed and he's wanted to kill himself. And I'm thinking, wow. So the trophy, which is what the media and the money and everything, it's not difficult for me, because I got to try and, not difficult for me, I just make sure I balance that correctly, knowing what's actually important to you know.
Yeah, negative emotions are also very powerful, you know. Here Kevin quotes this, or he mentions this scene from Star Wars when Emperor Palpatine says, "Oh, Anakin, I don't know, it's Luke Skywalker, I can feel your anger, it makes you focus." You know, I mean, anger is very powerful, you know, and it can make you well, move you towards something, and build up a lot of energy, you know. You can use this to define what you really want.
Yes, you can use that anger as fuel to define what you want. Definitely. And this brings us nicely to, what can we do to feel good now? And Katie has a long list of things. There's some things that you can do, sort of more physical body stuff, and there's other things that you can also do as well. So can you mention, can anyone mention any of the physical stuff, what you can do to feel good, or something that's not on the list but you do yourself, you know, or something that works for you?
Yeah, who wants to start?
I dance salsa, and for me it's like amazing.
That's
like an amazing feeling.
Brilliant.
Because you see like all the people happy, dancing, the music. So to me it's something which makes me feel so good. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter your day.
Oh,
love that.
Spanish salsa. Oh, Arman, with a rose in your mouth. Oh.
No.
Let's not get blue again.
All the women
not that much.
For me, it's an hour and a half of walking, or an hour of walking, or 2 hour walking is my thing in nice weather, or just going for a drive in the car, or meeting up with a friend, or having a beer, or having a coffee, or going in the hot tub. For me,
That's good. Yeah
16 pints of lager in a hot tub. and then
I like to go take a sauna. I have a gym where I have access to a sauna, which is very relaxing. But also what I discovered for myself is playing table tennis with some friends. We have a park here.
Brilliant game.
That's good.
Table tennis is so relaxed. It's so much fun. It's so easy game. Even if we're playing with somebody who's not very good at the moment, it's so much fun. You laugh a lot. It's very exciting, and you're in the moment.
And also, Mario, you're in the moment, because tennis and table tennis, like you have to be on that super present moment, and that's
you're focused, aren't you, when you're playing it?
So you have to be there.
I used to have a table tennis table, and me and my friend, when we were going out, when I was 18, 19, going out clubbing, we managed to squeeze a table tennis table we bought for £100, and we used to have a few cans of cider or something, and they were the funniest hours before going on a night out at the time. And they were brilliant. It's a brilliant game, table tennis.
Yeah, and we meet always new people. And we play this with you where you go around. In Germany, it's called a Rundlauf. It's going around the table, and who loses, well, has to step out, and then we have a finale, and it's fun. It's so much fun.
Oh,
Good fun.
that sounds like so much fun, Mario.
Yeah, and we have a group on WhatsApp, who wants to play, and then we meet outside, and who has time who can come, who doesn't.
I might fly over now.
Big time. I love table tennis. I played ping pong before. You're in the present moment, like Armand said.
Amazing game, yeah.
While listening to the audios,
Oh yeah.
That's one thing I do, Armin. Funny enough, I get a blank piece of paper like that, and I listen to CD 104 and I start writing what he's saying. That makes me feel really good as well.
That's
good. That's give me some great days.
Yeah.
When I'm really feeling bad, because we all feel bad at some point.
Your vibe goes up so much, isn't it, when you're really focused on this work? You just
Baroque classical music goes on there. I've got Trudeau on my iPad, and I just sit there with that on loud, and just creating. Just it's the best. There's 2 or 3 moments in my life listening to the CDs and writing where I've just felt like I'm not in my body. I'm the entire universe. It's like you're just free.
Yeah, I love that. And then, like Katie's also mentioned, other
things. No. What about you, ladies? I mean, what do you do?
Ladies,
I tell you what it is for me, dancing. Because when I'm dancing, it's so hard to be miserable. You just can't. When I start dancing, I automatically start smiling. I just cannot dance with a straight face.
So you dance at home, Meenal, or yes?
Yeah, dance at home.
Salsa dancing classes.
I used to go salsa, so I used to dance salsa, and I did street dancing and like lots of different types of dancing. But at home, Kashmeer and I had to perform a dance for my cousin's wedding. And so I had to choreograph an entire dance routine, like for 6 different dances. So that was so much fun. I just had so much fun. And then when we were doing it, it was just, it was such a laugh, really enjoyed it.
Unconscious competence, it was fun. The conscious competence part, not so fun. But finally, when we knew the dance moves, and you can finally enjoy it.
But also, just being a bit goofy, you put a music on and you do some funny moves.
And my fiance do it regular.
Do you? Yeah, it's so fun. You just can't help but laugh. And also, Kashmeer and I attend laughter yoga. So on Monday, sometimes we attend a laughter yoga class where you just start laughing, or you do silly things and you start laughing. And it's so infectious. When somebody else is laughing, you just end up laughing as well. Yeah. And you don't even know why you're laughing, but you are. So that's really fun as well. And that's my main one. What about you, Kashmeer? What's yours?
Dancing, listening to music, and dancing goofy. And I love doing my reenactments. I do acting roles. So I discovered this passion when I was 21 years young, back in 2008. I'm already giving my age away here if people are good at maths. And then I finally... it's a form of it. It's really fun, because when I'm playing these cool roles and saying these cool monologues, I feel like a different person, and it's just an extension of me. And I love acting, and I can understand why actors love acting. It's a creative form, just like singing and dancing. I felt the pleasure through acting. But he also talks about healthy foods. I get super passionate about superfoods. Looking after the body, physically working out. Who likes working out here? I mean, that does give you a sense of endorphin and dopamine and serotonin release here, right? So
I don't.
Jamie.
That's the one thing. When I used to train all the time when I was 18, 19, 20, I nearly had a 4-pack. And the funny thing was, I was never happy from the age of 18, 19, 20. I wasn't really happy that much. And now that I'm a little bit more physically bigger, I'm happier than I ever have been. So it's really difficult for me to like train when what was the quote by the guy from 50, 60 years ago? He hates training, but he loves the results. I was neither. I can't remember. Anyway, that's one thing that I'm trying to feel good about. I'm trying to get a routine, and and a boat came by in the last tournament where my friend was going to spin classes, And he just, because he couldn't cope with going to the gym for 2-3 hours, he was bored. He hated running. I always hated running. My back always goes. So I was going, I'm going to try and do spin classes, and because I got to feel good. All the exercise I found, I don't feel good with all of it. So I'm not one of them.
Okay.
But I am on my journey to try and find something that I really enjoy.
Something that you enjoy. Yes.
The main thing is feeling good.
Point, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Because I
And
don't want
has
to make
anyone
fake promises to myself either.
No. You're going to find something that you love to do and something that would make you feel good, you know. And I just wondered, has anyone tried the vibration plate or the rebounder? Have you?
Rebounder, I have one at home. It's amazing.
I don't
Really
have one.
amazing.
Yeah.
If you have a good one, because there are like one which is super, I don't know how to say, like very, you know, I mean, there's one which is more flexible, you know, and that's the good one. No, because you can even feel on your back, which is there, all your body's relaxing, no? And it's like, oh my God. And I also have the inversion table.
No, I saw that a few months ago, the inversion table. I think it was like £1,000 to get it. I remember him saying that with one of the only advantages with the super wealthy is that all these things they can just buy, like straight away. Until you get to there, it's a little bit difficult to see. CD8 is weird for me because it's probably my least favorite of the Trudeaus, but I've implemented a lot of things that he's done. But some I need probably you guys to inspire and to know what to do exactly with it. So I haven't got plates. I haven't got an inversion table, but I do like some of the like a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to do all of the stuff that Kevin's listed. He's just giving you a wide range because, of course, there are some things right now
like a
where
buffet.
you can't financially afford it.
But Jamie, you could even do, you know, in yoga, there's a position you have to, I don't know how to say it.
Oh, upward dog, is it?
Yeah, and it's almost the same thing. But the cool thing with also the inversion table is like in 4 seconds, the 90% of your body gets relaxed. So then that's why in 4 seconds you are like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's the thing. But with yoga, you could do it also. I think so.
Yeah.
My teachability index needs to go to an 8 or 9 with this CD because I'm willing to learn, to understand.
Yeah. So there's track 2-3 talks about neutralizing EMFs, which is actually electromagnetic chaos eliminators. So, you know, question like using what? So has anyone got one? Has anyone got an E pendant or any electromagnetic chaos?
I had one.
Snap! Come on.
You have the blue one. That's the best, no?
The gin store. This is actually from the gin store, guys.
The e-water, no?
Wow.
ewater.com.
E-water pendant. So I bought it back in 2013 because, you know, I was like listening to Katie for the first time. Then he says to buy these things. I go on the online, I get obsessed, I buy stuff, you know, I did, you've got the EMF sticker on the phone, the cell phone blocker. Yep, I had bought that as well for $70 odd or something, like the custom tag.
The cell phone. So that's like a stick, no? Like a small thing, which is.
Yeah, it's like a, it says quantum shields.
Okay.
I don't know if it's working, but I feel better.
You can't see the frequencies, Mario.
Detector. Yeah, so there's loads of those. I had a performance amulet, like I was wearing 3 bracelets. I lost them one by one, and I've still got one on my ankle. I had the EMF dots, and then I lost them one by one. And then I bought another one from the Ideal Home Show recently. So, and then a Himalayan crystal salt lamp as well. That kind of acts as a EMF, and it attracts the negative ions. Well, I think it emits positive ions and it attracts the negative ions, or have I put it the other way around? Either way, it's airborne allergy.
The other thing is also just, you know, heavy metal detoxes, like cleansing your body, you know, sometimes that actually makes you physically feel better. So anything like that, you know, he talks about mercury fillings, and there's so much heavy metal toxins out in the world right now. So that also can help you feel good. And just eating healthy, you know, like eating clean, eating healthy can make you feel good. I know that when I'm like, I've had a week of just eating really good food, I feel good. And then if I'm just eating out all the time and just eating all the wrong stuff, I actually feel sluggish, I feel slow, I feel fatigued. So, you know, that also plays an important part as well.
I don't know if this is just me being lazy or what have you, but because of the snooker, I'm always away. So I'm always eating out or eating, I try and get chicken and rice in the day, and I try my best to eat really well. I don't know if it's excuses or trying to get away from excuse-itis, but you sort of have to eat out. But I try to eat as close as nature intended, if that makes sense.
That's good, Jamie. That's good. I mean,
difficult.
Of course,
it's difficult to do.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's unavoidable sometimes when you're out or you're abroad or you're somewhere else, you know, that you have maybe no choice but to eat out. But as long as you go for as healthy as you can get, you know, that's good enough. And also the other thing, and this might sound a bit woo-woo, is actually, you know, when you give gratitude towards your food and you put good
said this
that really does help as well to just kind of to take in food with good vibrations. So there's an actual thing of, you know, when you send gratitude to your food, that actually can change your food energetically and make you feel good as well. So,
well, funny enough, Meenal, my mum's cup of tea and my dad's cup of tea are opposites. It's the same tea bag with the same water. It tastes 10 times better in my dad's house.
Wow.
I was trying to convince my fiance this morning that this tea is different, and she was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yeah, but it is. It is, because there's just the whole house is full of gratitude and happiness, and it tastes. And don't care what anyone says, it tastes better in Swansea."
The vibration.
It does. It does. Yeah. The same as we said before about. Yeah. I remember saying my dad, my nan's Sunday dinner tastes different to my mum's Sunday dinner. My nan's was always. It was the same ingredients, cooked the same way, but just tasted more like love.
Oh,
definitely.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. You can feel that difference. So there's also other things that you can do to feel good now. So, you know, I don't know about you, but reading books, that definitely makes me feel good. Like if I'm reading something and it's really inspiring and powerful, like my vibe just goes up.
Happy Pocket Full of Money is my favorite. Feeling wise, I just feel amazing.
So good when you read that book.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So feeling good. Mastermind groups like this. So, you know, that's definitely, you know, connecting with like-minded people, talking about this kind of stuff, that also makes you feel good as well. You know, of course, seminars, music, certain types of music makes you feel good. Hugs. When do we all hug? You know,
I love hugs.
Yeah, it releases oxytocin, you know, it releases that kind of love chemical, and it makes you feel good. So hugs, there
was a separate, sorry interrupting me, there was a separate study I saw 10 years ago. I remember it stuck in my head, where if you hug somebody for 35 or 40 seconds, you actually have these even more endorphins of stuff. I don't know the science. I don't know the science, but I remember hearing that.
That's right. If you hold the hug long enough, and I think it is about, I think it's 30 seconds, 35 seconds around that length of time, then you actually do release a lot of these chemicals. Oxytocin,
yeah.
I went to funny story. I went to a love seminar or workshop.
I gotta go.
I met a girl a couple of years ago, and she said, "You want to go to this love workshop seminar?" I was like, "What is this?" Wow. And I said, "Okay," because I'm open. And there was this Osho Center, a place where a lot of workshops and seminars take place. And I said, "Okay, let's try it out." And it was to like yogi who taught us how to hug properly and the science behind it. And then we did some exercises where you have to lean towards each other and say stuff and just be. And it was a little bit, it was interesting. Yeah, it was a funny experience. It's called Osho Center. Yeah.
The Osho
So it's
Center.
Osho, yeah.
one of the Indian
Osho.
gurus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And
It was
what do you think?
funny seminar,
Are you sure it wasn't called Glastonbury?
yeah. Sorry?
Was it called Glastonbury?
Glastonbury Festival.
I don't get it.
Meanwhile, that Kashmir got it.
Yeah.
Was it
Who
like
else?
a festival?
No, it was like a group of 10 people for an hour hugging each other, and yeah, it was
That's cool. That's cool.
interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Oh,
But I could feel it. I could feel, the oxytocin coming out, and it was basically an hour of hugging people very intensely and
Wow.
without even knowing them, but it didn't matter.
Strangers. Yeah.
Yeah. That must feel strange at first because you're hugging
Yeah,
strangers.
it was a little bit weird. I was like, what I've gotten into here right now.
he says Kevin Trudeau says on level 2, and he says right, everyone stand up and hug the person next to you or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or he says give them or shake their hand and tell you we're gonna have a great day or something.
Touch their left ear.
What's that?
Touch their left ear or something.
I haven't heard that one.
No, I haven't heard that one, Maria. You just
No, okay.
pulling our leg. That's funny.
What was this meditation?
Seminar, then.
What was this meditation you've done for 2 weeks?
Different seminar.
Yeah, but it's definitely true. Tactile
Tactile contact.
really important.
Yeah. And then also having a pet, Amon, you're so
Who's
lucky.
got a pet on? Finger over. Go on, Cookie. Where's Cookie? He's got a cat.
Come to the office because I don't want her to be around here with all the hair. But yeah, it's,
Dog or cat, Damon? Dog, cat?
Cat.
Cat, yeah. I have a cat as well.
A she cat. But yeah, it's an amazing feeling because almost all the pets are like they have the very positive energy. If you have a dog, they always like take even your negative energy. So
They know. Yeah.
Yeah, they know. Yeah, that's it. And also, being creative. This is so important. Like whether it's painting or
Arts and crafts.
drawing, or
Writing, drawing, yeah.
art,
Cooking.
yeah.
That always
Planting
makes
in
you
the
feel better.
garden,
Okay.
and also TFT. So what you do regularly, Iman, TFT. So that's really good. Can I just ask actually, Iman, just when you do TFT, do you like if you've got a negative emotion and you do TFT, do you do a few rounds of it, or do you just keep doing it until you feel?
I do like the 2 procedures. Like there's like one which is like the basic one that Kevin explains, like this one, like 2-3 times, and then I do the exact one because I downloaded a PDF of, I don't know, there's one which is fear, anxiety, panic, and then I do that, and sometimes I even do the 9G. But after I do the 9G, everything is really gone.
Wow, that's amazing. So you do the specific one, which is good. Yeah, specific to that emotion.
I think if you also do the 9G, it's more powerful, but sometimes I don't need it. And I think it was very interesting, Meenal, when you said that Kevin, after jail, he was, coaching you when it comes to TFT, no? So after 50 or 60 years of training, he still does like TFT, right?
Yeah, he still does TFT, as well as the Sedona method as well. He does that as well, letting go.
Which is the method?
The Sedona method.
The Sedona method. Okay.
The Sedona method. Yeah. So the question is, why do you feel bad?
Yeah.
Why do we feel bad?
You're thinking about what you don't want.
Yeah, that's it.
Or you're thinking about what you do want, and you're thinking of the lack of it.
That's it. So this clashes with what you. So sometimes you're sending out a thought of what you do want. Sorry. So sometimes you're sending a thought of what you do want, but then you're too worried, or you've got doubt or fear, and that clashes with what you do want. So it clashes with that transmission. So it blocks the energy in the body, and you feel horrible, and this is why sometimes when people think about what they want, they don't actually feel very good. It's because they're already thinking about the how, or the worry, or the doubts, or the fears around it. The other thing there was another thing that I wanted to just mention, was collective energy.
Yeah, they also pick up on the collective consciousness of the planet. Sometimes you feel bad, you wake up in the morning, you don't even know why you're feeling bad. It's not linked to a thought or any event that happened that generated the bad feeling. It's just that you are actually picking up energies from the ether. Like if there is a war going on the planet, world war, there is a lot of dense, negative, heavy energy.
Has anybody noticed on a Monday morning?
Yes.
No, you feel a little bit worse than a Sunday morning. No, is this one just me? Like a Saturday and Sunday when I wake up, I go through my appreciation, I just feel different on a Monday. I know how to counter it, but I just feel a bit from the ether because all the thoughts are negative.
Is that just me
in that one?
About going to work on a Monday.
Yeah.
You get the Monday blues, right? Why do they call it the Monday blues? Why is that such a worldwide known saying?
But my personal, I go to Costa about 9 o'clock. I have my espresso, I have my bottle of water, but I still am getting these constant. So I'm not going to work. I go and practice snooker about 10:30, but I can go at 11 o'clock. But I'm still getting the vibrations I feel from the ether.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Jamie.
Yeah,
hit the nail on the head right there.
That's what, just it happens every Monday. Like today now, woke up, it was like, okay, whatever, go and get a coffee. Everyone's like a bit more chirpy, and I just feel a little bit different on a Monday than I do on a Sunday. So that's definitely what it is, isn't it?
It is.
I remember there was a study which showed that most strokes happen Monday morning between 8 and 9 o'clock.
Really?
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Wow.
That ties in then.
I wonder why.
8 and 9 a.m. rush hour, the time.
Like the office guy opens his emails and then, oh no.
Yes.
So go on, Kashmir, carry on.
So keep focusing on the good, and the negative ball of energy will eventually diminish and go away. But sometimes the negative is so powerful with strong attractive magnetic pull, so it can be challenging. So so he talks about how thought field therapy is used to eliminate it. So obviously we already talked about this earlier on, but this is where he gets to this bit. So has anyone, the question actually was, has anyone ever used the TFT by Dr. Roger Callahan, or even the EFT, Emotional Freedom Therapy by Gary Craig? And who has it worked for and does it work? I guess you
works massively for me. So it's part of my life.
Yeah, I think I told you that I was on a seminar on the level 1 faster EFT by Robert Smith, who is I think an apprentice of Gary Craig, and he worked with him together also, and he's now doing his own style. It's faster EFT, and I went on a seminar for a week in Athens.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me this, Mary. You went to an EFT summit and you trained how to become an EFT practitioner.
Yeah, it's level 1. Yeah, it's a little shorter version. You still have the points, like here, and collarbone, but he doesn't use like these points. Like it's
right.
He doesn't use these points. And he gives another explanation why it works. So in his opinion, it's first of all is by tapping on these points. Of course, you have the chakra points, or the meridian points, which if you tap them, it leads to relaxation, first of all, because when you're thinking about something negative, all your organs respond to this stimuli. You have a negative thoughts, and then you get triggered, and blood pumps up, and your heart rate goes up. And so if you do this, it relaxes you, and you get by feeling and focusing on your fingertips, it pulls you back into the moment. So you're not in a trance state anymore, because when you're thinking about something, you're in a trance state. But by doing this and feeling it exactly and focusing maybe on it, that's why it also works if you're just thinking about tapping it, because you're getting pulled back into the moment. by doing this. And the third thing is that while doing this, and in the moment when you get back into the moment, the memory gets messed up like a broken record. So it changes, and that's why you also change the memory, and you can change into something positive. So,
I see.
well, there's a lot happening. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, Mario.
yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all,
So what he's saying is that all around here, because the ones I know is there, here, the wrists, and the
Yeah.
collarbones. Am I missing anything there, or is that?
And
Is that about?
Oh yeah, this one.
And here,
Here,
Okay.
starting on the eyebrows, it's
Yeah.
here, right here,
and he recommends going right round, or just those.
Sometimes I just feel, and then I feel where it feels good. I try to find the point. But I don't, this is not so much, I think he also did some test experiments, and he discovered that it's not that important that you find the right spot. It's also that the tapping in itself is effective. It's not that you need to tap the exact spot. It's also that you feel something here, and you focus is on the present moment. Yeah.
Cool.
This is
Really cool.
what does the trick.
Yeah.
Also, of course. Yeah. But this is him. And Roger Callahan, he talks about the reversal, energetic reversal.
Yeah.
Help me out here. Well, anyway, I don't know it. But yeah, it works. It still works. No.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you take out, if you have a negative memory, you might think that it's still, it still influences you today. Then you can go back and really feel it, make it worst possible. And then you take out the charge, first of all, you make it from a 10 to a 1 or a 0. And then you can also choose to make it, to change the memory, like put in different pictures, like another sound, instead of somebody telling you you're stupid, they say, hey, I love you, you look great, you can change this, but while tapping. So you change the meaning of the memory, and this in turn changes how you act today subconsciously.
The last 2 weeks, I've had coffee with one of my friends locally, and he's 68 years old. One of the most intelligent men I've ever met. Really nice. And his wife has been put in the hospital. Again, me myself, not absolutely studying this as I love to do. It's not a chore studying this, but just snooker and whatever. Just been distracted a little bit, concentrating on my obsession with snooker. And he was saying about his wife has been put into hospital, ill health, terminal disease. So I have had probably in the last 10 days about 5 times where I've thought about the fear of ill health, which is one of the 6 basic fears in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that I'm about 10 seconds in, and it's carrying on. Other thoughts are starting coming in, and I know 68 seconds is the time where is the limit. So I feel like I'm there, and I start tapping. And I start going through the, everything that I know, and within 30 seconds to 40 seconds, it's gone, and I'm feeling good again. So because I think Trudeau says you've got to look after yourself, because these thoughts will just, and most people, the thoughts just come in and they go into your aura, then they go into your body. So it's for me, the Callahan, what you said there, Mario, when I was thinking about the fear of ill health, because I was surrounding myself with somebody who was going through the fear of ill health with his wife, that helped me personally just discard that thought and fear, and help me think about things I do want.
Wow. Thanks for sharing, Jamie. That's really important. Yeah. Huh?
What?
Okay, let's because we're just looking at the time as well, so let's get on with the
it's 5 o'clock in the morning. 13 hours we've been here.
So how do you keep focusing on what you want? Well, dream building is a good exercise. And what's involved with dream building and how do you do it? You know, so does anyone do dream building? I'm sure we've all done it.
I did a lot of it. I haven't for weeks.
Yeah.
I could do more.
It's all there though.
Yeah, me too. I could do more. That's good.
I've done a page. That's the second page for today. Because if you don't exercise, you forget. You know, it's so simple. Dream building. I done it with a car for 3 months. The obsession and the intensity was absolutely out of control, and I got it. And should use that for future things that I want, or not so much material, but feeling good as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the reason people want the material stuff, the money, the yachts, the cars, what have you, is because they want to feel good. So I think especially with Mario and all of us and Armen and all of us guys, we'll go focus on the feeling more than the material dream building. But an important thing to do, knowing, because it ups your belief level, knowing that. Yes. It goes on about the lifestyles of the rich and famous and everything.
Look at magazines and look at, you know.
Yeah.
Also very good Instagram profiles. You know, do dream building. Like if
what was that?
Yeah, like Instagram profiles, you know, the lifestyle, you know, and the luxury hotels and.
Could do more. Could do better.
That's really good. That Kashmir and I do it sometimes on YouTube. They show like mansions like of very wealthy people, and you know, so they show all of that as well. So that,
and like on my channel, on my www.kashmeersavani.com channel, not that I'm promoting it, yes I am, I've got a whole bunch of dream building videos on there, man, that you can use, right, with positive affirmations in front of it. And I just
use those
images and really cool music to go with it, to really put you in an opulent state of mind.
Visualization is my one on your site, Kashmir. That 10 minutes visualization, well, this is the best thing ever for me. Going to sleep. It's not long. You haven't got to think. You're just putting yourself in the feeling of already having it.
Yeah, you literally go through the technique. It's like almost like a guided visualization meditation.
Yes.
Says you just took the clips. Yeah, so it's like that's perfect. That makes me feel really good as well. So yeah, and it's more about, you know, you can have any of this if you choose, and that money is just energy, and that you're no better, you're no worse or better than the rich successful person. I mean, we're all the same thing here, energy, right? Vibrating at different frequencies. You're just increasing your wealth consciousness of it. That's what you want to practice if you want that thing. At the end of the day, whatever anybody wants is always because they're after a feeling, like you said, Jamie, right? So the baseline foundation thing is you want to feel good. That's the motivating, determining factor of our whole purpose of existence anyway. It's always about feeling good. Buddha said it, that you have no cause in life but joy and gratitude, right? He didn't say you have no cause in life but to struggle and suffer and become a multi-millionaire so you can sit in your high horse in your mansion and just sulk all day. No, and be mean and nasty to everyone. Ego.
I think we've actually, I think all of us have done really well there, because dream building is important in general, but I think what we've done is focus on the feeling, which is even more important. So I think we've done we're, even though we haven't done much of it, including myself, and Mario said he could do more, and I'm the same, but we're doing it unconsciously. We're dream building on the emotion we want, because when people want, as you said, the stuff they want the feeling that's going to give them, and they will give it to them, but the materialism just goes down then, and you feel the same. So
that's it, the novelty wears off. I remember hearing.
So, Catherine, did you mention?
Yeah. Oh, it's freezing.
It's froze.
Oh, God. So.
Frozen.
Frozen. Text her to say to come off it and go back on. Oh, bless her. Look.
For everyone that's viewing this.
I've seen worse frozen screens where some people are like, oh, like this, but she's the opposite. It's like she's posed for a photo. So it's done well. I text her to say to come off and come back on or something.
Yeah, she probably is gonna do that. I'm sure she's figured it out that she's frozen and.
Unless she can hear us now and she's laughing herself.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm still here, guys.
Oh,
She's gone.
She can't like us. That's all I can think of. She can't like us. She's just gone.
She's probably going to come back on, but I'll just quickly finish off saying what I was saying. I remember a billionaire actually saying, you know, once your basic necessities are met, if I had another yacht, like he already had the yacht, 16 cars, a huge multi-million-dollar mansion, everything, right? But he said, if I had any more of this stuff, would it make me any more happier? He goes, no, not really. He goes, once your basic necessities are met, pretty much then you're happy. He's like, you know, you got everything you want. Now it's just about working on feeling good. And I was like, wow, that's so true, because like I live quite comfortably. I'm sure all of you guys live very comfortably. Like if I had any more stuff, it would give you temporary, short-lived happiness. But at the end of the day,
sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, Kashmeer, carry on.
Okay, and one more thing. Jim Carrey said this amazing quote. He goes, I hope everybody becomes rich and famous.
It's not always right up to me.
Exactly, right.
Brilliant. And I feel like I'm there 26 years old. I'm sure you guys are as well. When I bought, me and my fiance bought a bungalow. It's about 8 rooms big. I've got a charging point for the car. I've got a hot tub, a deck in, and they're like, you're on the start of the ladder. I said, right, okay, we got a mortgage on the start of the ladder, but we're happy here. And my fiance's bosses have a £600,000 house about 2 miles down the road, and they wanted us to take care of their cats for, I don't know, they give us £100 for the week. Long story short, we stayed in this £600,000 house. It had this, it had that, whatever, and it was rubbish. It was a fantastic house, but we were happier here.
Wow.
Which is like, we understand, and you guys, I'm sure, Kashmeer, Armin, we all understand this now, that be happy now, and like we are we got a little walk-in wardrobe, bedroom, you know, little living room, but we're happy, like, you know, because it doesn't make a difference on where the physical, where we are, as long as your emotions are in check. And I saw that quote with Jim Carrey as well, and I think he bought a little hut, didn't he, in the middle of the forest. I mean, you might have seen it. And he has to get a helicopter in. Yeah. And it's tiny, isn't it? And that's his, you know, that's all he needs. Hi, Meenal.
Feeling your back.
We just automatically thought you got sick of our company, you didn't want to stay. We just automatically thought that.
Oh God, my phone is charging at the moment, so I'm just using Pete's phone.
Okay.
Did you guys talk about gratitude? No,
we haven't got to that bit yet. We were just finishing about feeling good. It's the most important thing. But so another thing, one more thing to raise your vibration and feel good is something that you can do every morning and every evening. So what is that, guys?
Appreciation.
Yes.
It's the one thing you actually.
No, already said it.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is something I need to get to unconscious competence on, because I do this a few times a week, but I don't do it every single morning unconsciously. When I put my dressing gown on, go in the shower, I don't unconsciously do it. But this is something I need to personally get to unconscious competence on, that I'm on my journey on to do, and also at night, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is something I should do more as well.
I think I agree. I mean, something that I think I need to be doing more of. And I think with gratitude, sometimes we don't feel it when we're practicing gratitude, and it may be because we're not practicing it enough, you know. So when you practice it more on a regular basis, the feelings of gratitude come up a little bit more. So it is kind of setting that intention to do a little bit more gratitude, and I admit I don't do enough of it. So it's something that I would like to incorporate.
This is amazing, because all of us go through the same thing, because it's impossible to master it, as Trudeau said, but always get a little bit better. So it's something we can all take away as well in the mornings and going to bed at night. Just going through 1 or 2 minutes of going through appreciation, and more like-minded thoughts come in then, don't they?
That's something, for example, that Oscar, when it comes to gratitude, he's super disciplined. Like, he even not only says his gratitude, but he also he writes like a whole page every day. Like,
wow.
I can feel Oscar's energy when he's talking, because you can just see there's an aura of, you know, he might not be today, but he might just be going, you know, as you said, and just going through the appreciation. It's a skill, but one we can all get unconscious competence on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but it's something, at least at me, he's telling me every day, you should do it, like you should do every day, write it. So I don't know maybe the reason, but he's like super disciplined on that.
Wow.
I watched The Secret 2 days ago, and they were saying when you have a bad relationship, write down everything you love about that person, rather because you're thinking about what you don't like about that person.
Yeah, it really works. It really works. I've tried it in the past when I had a difficulty with a particular person, and then I just wrote all the good things about them, and then they sent me an email, and it was just such a beautiful email, you know. It was like I couldn't believe it. So it really does work, you know, especially when you feel it, when you're feeling it. And like Aman was saying, because Oscar's doing it every day, that you can generate the feelings of gratitude much more easily because you practice is part of you. So I think
Gratitude rock.
This is Oscar's punch, actually. Yeah.
Punch, yes.
His punch. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just being gratitude. It's being gratitude.
And like even when Oscar's written, I think on the WhatsApp message, he did write something along the lines of gratitude or appreciation for the group. And, you know, you could really feel it. Like you could even almost feel it in the words, that how great it is. You know, you could feel that.
I completely agree, Meenal, with that, because whenever Oscar writes something, you just know he's going through appreciation stuff. It's something I'm absolutely buzzing, taking stuff away and being happy with all you guys, and that's something I'm really going to exercise now.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Got inspired as well.
In between, really, really inspiring. So in between focusing on what we want, you want to be feeling good or working on feeling that little bit better, you know, and that's sort of the key thing that Katie's talking about in this audio, is about feeling good. And, you know, he gives that really nice example of, you know, when you like thoughts attract like thoughts, when you're saying, I feel so lucky, you know, and you just
Kashmeer's visualization.
Yeah, and then you
Kashmir video.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then, you know, events, circumstances, situations come your way to make you feel that way. And I'll give an interesting story. Back in 2012, I had a bit of an awakening and a shift, and I started feeling a really deep level of gratitude, so much so that even if somebody just opened the door for me, I'd feel so much gratitude. It was an abnormal level of gratitude that I felt, but it was such a wonderful feeling. I was on a high for a month, and the intensity afterwards reduced. But during that high, I remember I had a flat tire, and I was on one of those kind of busy roads in the middle of the night, and I was thinking, how did this happen? How did I get a flat tire while I was doing all this gratitude work? And I'm on a But then what happened was when I had this flat tire, it was midnight, and I was thinking, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I pulled into a petrol station, and there was a guy just waiting there because his van had broken down, and he helped me out. And I didn't even have money for, you know, filling the flat tire up with air. And so he just helped me out, and that's all he did, just help me out. And I felt so much gratitude towards him, like so much. You know, the chances of finding someone that will help me out and looked trustworthy as well, didn't look dodgy or anything like that. In fact, he reminded me of a family member. You know, he felt that safe. And I was thinking, gosh, you know, this flat tire happened, but it generated so much gratitude because he was there to help me out.
That's
and so
cool.
Sometimes things happen that you think, how did this happen? But actually it's there so that you can feel even more gratitude, you know. So it's just very interesting how all of this works.
That's so cool.
So you know, the most important thing is to feel good now and to increase that positive ball of energy, and just, you know, feel that. This is what he emphasizes a lot. In the next CD, it's going to talk again about feeling good as well. So what was interesting was towards the end of it, he did say that doing at least 90 seconds of focus on what you want activates the law of attraction. 90 seconds. Now, I'm sure in Abraham Hicks it said 68 seconds.
68. And Kevin Trudeau's level 2, he says 68 seconds is a scientific to pull in the situations and events.
Yes. So I don't know why he kind of mentioned 90 seconds in this audio. So I wasn't too sure about that. But
I think he says, I think because he's dealing with people on level 1, like we're all in. And I think because he's teaching on such a physical plane and such a just, in other words, please listen to me, because I'm trying, I want to help you. It's the highest level of bliss I can achieve in my life. And I think he just says 90 seconds as a Chinese whisper, just to say for at least 90 seconds. So I think that's why, Meenal. But personally, that it's a guess, but I think that's why. And then when you get into it, he goes, right, really, it's 68 seconds. This is what you got to do here. This is what you got to do here. I could be wrong, but that's my guess listening to him. The more I do.
That makes sense. You know, he's probably getting into much more detail later on and more specific, saying 68 seconds. So the more you do this throughout the day, the better it is, so that you become what you think about most of the time. And I remember what Oscar said was it last time or the session before that what he does is he has little moments of focusing on what he wants, then he carries on feeling good and doing whatever he's doing, and then again he'll have like pockets of time during the day where he will just devote a little bit
as well, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's really good, because if you do it too long, maybe a bit of doubt or something might creep. But if you do it just enough to make you feel good about it, and then let it go, then
I think that's really important. We talked about, I think 3 weeks ago, or the one before, and we were saying just blast at the frequency for 60, 80, 90 seconds, and then just get on with your day. Because if the more you think about it all the time, the more doubt can creep in, and then the how comes in, and then and it can make you then think about what you don't want. So I think that's really important. Personally, I'll definitely take that away.
Yeah, Pete just said outcome dependence. Just thought I'll put that one in. So then Katie then talks about how feeling good is linked with increasing desire. So Kashmeer, do you want to go on with that?
Yes.
Part?
If you feel good, you automatically increase your desire, of course. So the question is, what are the other ways to increase your desire of what you want? What are the 2 things that Kevin mentioned that you can have that will help to increase your desire?
I don't know.
Is physically get into what? Physically sit in the car and smell the smells, or is that that's a different one, isn't it?
That's a different one.
A dream book and a dream board.
That's it, dream book and dream board.
That's it. And then he talks about the neural pathways.
Yeah,
so
very interesting. So like,
I first heard about this, that when you type, you only use 8
neural pathways. 8 movements.
Not many.
The 4 fingers, yeah, you're only using 8 movements when you type your dreams into a computer. So you're actually only creating 8 neural pathways in your brain. The physiology connection to your brain from the 8 movements is only creating 8 neural pathways. But if you write things, because all the wealthy people I know, Kevin said, is that they write things. You put a pen to a paper, white paper and a pen with blue ink, most preferably.
I used to have post-it notes here, and I moved them yesterday into my like conservatory. So I used to have post-it notes I was going to show, but they're not there.
But when you write things, you create over 10,000 movements. So you're actually creating over 10,000 neural pathways in your brain. So obviously this is much, much more powerful. It's much more effective. So obviously all of our dreams, I'm sure, are written down on white paper and blue ink. I know mine is. So yeah,
absolutely.
It is. And yeah, the 3 points.
And then imagination.
Yeah. When you do that, it expands your imagination. It forces you to do things that will make you think of your dream when you have a dream book and dream board. So it's just techniques of ways to keep focusing on your dream. This is how your desire gets increased, because you're like, yeah, I do want that. And why do I want that? And you expand on it, and you keep having these pictures all in front of you. And then you keep looking at it, first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed. And it says the universe will give you the feeling you are emitting as well as the object. So the question is like, what happens if you feel good all the time, but then something bad happens?
Is it really bad?
Yes.
This is I think one of the biggest skills, I think, for lower level people. I don't know, but including myself, because you need to understand you're going through the process, understand that you feel good, and then when a situation comes in that looks bad, it isn't, and you've got to have a complete belief that it isn't bad.
Yes, you really need to have this understanding, because obviously like you're feeling good, you're emitting the desire of wanting a new house, like Kevin gave the example. The house gets burned down.
It was creepy.
House catches fire. You're like, no, it's you wanted a new house, and you.
Have you heard the story about his Audi R8 Spider that caught fire?
The R8 Spider.
His girlfriend was driving. He said he wanted the R8, the new model, 20 cars in the world, flown all around the country. There's a waiting list of 2.5 years. No, I want it now. Oh, Trudeau's gone crazy again. All his friends were saying, and then his girlfriend at the time was driving through a toll, and the car caught fire, and then he phoned Audi, and they said, look, we'll send you a brand new Spider straight away. No. I want one of the 20 ones. Right, so I'm not going to sue you for nearly burning my girlfriend to a crisp, and you can't send me a brand new Audi R8 Spider original. Mr. Trudeau, it'll be on this way next week. It's just something like that, wasn't it? It was something like that.
It was. I remember he spoke on stage about this as the clip
on
YouTube, right? It's like a
Power of manifestation, Kevin Trudeau.
Yeah, that was amazing, that example. So the summary of the technique is, think about what you want with power, intensity, and long duration, and feel good about it. That's it. If only they taught us that in school, okay? Because what do you think school teaches you guys? The 0.00001% side of the training balance scale, the irrelevant part. They talk about geography, history, math, science. I don't give a damn about the subject. What words do they say? Oh, by the way, guys, I know you came here to manifest your dreams and feel good. I'm going to teach you how to be, do, and have anything and everything you want. I'm going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur.
How about this Bunsen burner, just here?
Yeah. I didn't need to know any of that. So yeah, they teach you about the how, the techniques, the skills. They don't care about how you feel. They don't talk to you about monitoring your emotions.
Because they don't know either.
They don't know either. It's brainwash leading the brainwashed, blind leading the blind.
It's a built-in blind leading the blind. I love that. I love that.
It's a built-in slavery system. So if you don't feel good, you may need to increase your belief about it. So obviously there's a lot of increasing desire techniques, like Kevin said. So yeah, that was just a summary. So we've come to the end of CD8. And remember, the #1 goal is to
feel bad. No, good now.
Feel bad.
I thought I knew that one.
Feel bad now.
Feel bad.
That's the objective of the coordination. Feel good now. This is the answer.
And just feel better, you know, so feeling good means that feel better than where you are right now, just moving up that emotional scale. So that's
some good energy. Some good energy.
So that's CD8. CD8 was actually quite short, but CD9 is quite meaty. I'm looking forward to that one. So he does recap on the technique of manifesting your desires in CD9, and he really delves deeper into feeling good now and why we feel so bad and what can we do about it. It's such a big one because even though he's kind of mentioned it already, it's something that you want to kind of remember again and again. It's going to come up.
I'm not that funny, Mario.
Mario,
I'm not that funny.
That's so good, yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Meenal. Carry on. I'm so sorry.
Excuse me, yeah.
I couldn't hold it.
I think everyone's frozen. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
But Mario can't breathe for some reason.
Yeah, it's good.
So I was just recapping CD9, but it's more about, you know, feeling good and about what to do when you feel bad. And this is such a common thing. We all feel bad at times. So what do we do in that situation? And it's important to go over this again and again, because that way you'll be able to remember when you do come across a moment or a day where you're feeling bad, what can you do about it? You know, what can you do in that situation? So that's going to be CD9. And there's also lots of stories about the man in China.
Yeah.
And also an example from Star Wars as well. So it's going to be really exciting. So look forward to the next session.
CD8 was quite a difficult one for me, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to CD9.
Excellent. So may you never be the same again. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.